Hi, everyone. This is a very good problem today. So find your lesson 24 application problem. It is on page 281. And if you don't have your page, that's okay. You could use your whiteboard. You could use a piece of paper. I would say just recreate this because the directions say, a longtime runner compiled her training distances in the following chart. Fill in the missing values. So let's take a look at what this chart's showing us. So it's saying this is the runner's log. So the first column shows us the total number of miles run. So how many total miles did she run? It should show us the number of days, how many days she was running to complete those amount of miles, and how many miles were run each day. So let's think about this. Let's look at this first one. I have a lot of information here. I'm going to cover that up. So what this is showing us, every day she ran 12 miles, or they ran 12 miles. They ran a total of 420 miles. Our job is to figure out how many days they ran. So you could do this a number of ways. But if you think about, like, this is maybe day one, ran 12 miles because they ran it each day, every day. So on day two, they ran 12 miles. How many miles have they run total? 12 plus 12, 24. On day three, they also ran 12 miles. How many miles have they run total? 12, 24, 36. So you could keep doing this until you hit 420. Is there an easier way to solve? Because really, remember repeated addition? That's the same as multiplication. So if we know she's running 12 miles a day, we don't know how many days. So 12 times the number of days, that should equal 420. Can you figure out what number should go here? 12 times what would be 420? Why don't you pause and see if you can figure that out? Okay, here's what I would do. If you don't know your 12 times tables very well, this might be a little tricky, but multiplication and division are the same thing, just backwards from one another. So if I'm not sure what this is, I could rearrange this. This is the same thing as doing 420 divided by 12, and that'll tell me what the blank is. So let me solve for that. 420 divided by 12. 12 can't go into 4. 12 can go into 42. How many times? Can we count by 12s? 12, 24, 36, 48. Oh, too much. So it can go in 12, 24, 36. So 3 times, which was 36. We subtract 42 minus 36. That would be 6. Bring down our next number, a 0. How many times can 12 go into 60? I haven't gotten there yet. Let me add 12 to this. So add 2, that becomes a 10, that'd be 5, and add a 6. Oh, right there, 60. So it'd be 12, 24, 36, 48, 60. 5 times 12 is 60. There we go. We figured it out. That's showing me 12. And this is actually a really great example why this works. So 420 divided by 12 is 35. How would we check and see if this is correct? Rainbow. 12 times 35 is 420. That's why these are showing the same thing. So she ran 12 miles a day, or he or they. 35 days, they ran 420 miles total. Let's look at the second one. This one is, they ran a total of 14 and a half miles, and they were running for 5 days. So how many days did they run each day? So think about that problem. See if you can solve, and then when you're ready to check, or if you're like, oh, I'm really not sure, maybe come back. So in this one, if this is their total that they ran 14 and a half miles total, and they ran for 5 days. If we want to know what they ran each day, that is division. The total number of miles divided into the 5 days will tell us how much they ran each day. Let's do that division. Let's solve it in here. 14 and a half divided by 5. This is why it's important to write the zeros up top, because now we have a decimal. 5 can't go into 1. 5 can go into 14 though. 5, 10, 15. Oh, 15 is too much. So 5, 10. 2 times, which got me to 10. So when I subtract, I get 4. And look, here's my decimal. So my decimal has to go straight up. So it goes right after that too. Bring down my next number. How many times can 5 go into 45? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. 9 times. And I got right on 45. So how much did they run each day? 2 9/10 of a mile. So the total number of miles, divide by 5 days. This is how much she ran each of those days. 2 9/10 of a mile. This next line has that same setup. We know the total. We know how many days we need to divide it by. I want you to figure out how many miles were run. So 38, or 38.0, it means the same thing, divided into the 10 days. Figure out how much was run total. Pause, and when you're ready to come back, just check your work. Come on, do that. So here's my 38 divided by 10. And I'm thinking they probably add the decimal 0 because they want a decimal answer, not a remainder. You can't run remainder miles. This doesn't make sense. It means you didn't run them. So 10 can't go into 3, but 10 can go into 38. 10, 20, 30, 40. Oh, too much. 10, 20, 30. It goes in 3 times. So when I subtract, I get 8. And look at that. We need that 0 that was here. So that 8 becomes an 80. Don't forget to bring your decimal up. How many times can 10 go into 80? 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 88 times, which gets you right on 80. There we go. So how many miles did she run each day, or he or they? 3 8/10 of a mile. Okay, one more. We're almost done. So on this column, we know that they ran 16 and a half miles every day for 17 days. So 16 and a half miles every day for 17 days. Why didn't you solve? How many miles did they run total? Pause, solve, don't forget your decimal. Let's figure that out. Okay, I'm going to rewrite actually over here so I have a little bit more room. So it'd be 16 and a half times 17. Okay. 7 times 5 is 35. 7 times 6 is 42. Plus 3 is 45. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 4 is 11. 1155. We're done with the 7 and the numbers up top. Now we're going to multiply by the 1, but it's not a 1. That's a 10 because this is 17. 10 plus 7 is 17. So don't forget to add a 0 first. And then we know what this is. 165 times 1 should be 165. We just have that 0 at the end, so it's 1,650. We add them together. 5, 10, 6, 7, 8, and 2. And then don't forget the decimal. Where does your decimal go? It was in the 10th place here, so it must be in the 10th place there. This person ran, that's a lot, 280.5 miles. Good job, everyone. This was a great one. Bye.